Bachelor recap. We have so much to talk about today. You're going to want to stay tuned. But before we get into it all, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. We're back at it again. Hello, I am Renee Ariel, and as always, I'm joined by Fiona Zaring.
Hello.
Okay, Fiona, let's just get into the nitty-gritty of it. So last night, we had a very important episode of the greatest seasons ever. Will you tell us what we learned, what we reminisced?
Absolutely. So we got to relive Kaitlyn Bristowe's season, one of the best seasons of The Bachelor ever. Brief history of her season, if you didn't happen to watch last night or if you just can't get enough. Basically, people were obsessed with her. Her season had great drama, tons of future Bachelor in Paradise contestants we were introduced to on her season, along with Mr. Ben Higgins. And then, of course, her finalists were Shawn Booth and Mr. Nick Viall, or as Shawn used to call him on this season, the other guy. Nick came into her season in week 4, if you remember. They met in real life. And then he was still into her, wanted to make sure he gave it his best shot. From the moment he got there were, of course, those questions of whether or not he was there for the right reasons. They did hook up pre-fantasy suites, which again, like I said, scandalous, dramatic season. Kaitlyn obviously ultimately chooses Shawn. She spoiled that finale moment, by the way, accidentally on Snapchat as well.
Yep.
And then they stayed together for 3 years, which as far as Bachelor life goes is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy reliving her season. You know what my favorite thing that I completely forgot? I feel like I often forget it because when we think of Kaitlyn Bristowe's season, we just think of Kaitlyn. But that was the one season of The Bachelorette that they started off with 2 Bachelorettes, which is a ballsy move for Bachelor Nation. I couldn't even imagine. I wonder if they'll ever do that again. And maybe not with Bachelorettes again, because let me tell you, I feel like it puts them through enough having that like sense of competition. Like usually once you're picked for the Bachelor or Bachelorette, like you're done. But with this season, she had some competition. I would love to see 2 Bachelors do that. Not in the next season. We need just Matt James next season. But in the coming years, Bachelor, let's just switch it up.
Shake things up even more.
Right? But let's get to kind of the sad part that we all remember of Kaitlyn's season. So Chris Harrison got into the worst heart-wrenching breakups ever. And Kaitlyn's season definitely had that, as you guys remember. Nick Viall had a rough time this season. He was down to the final 2, thought him and Kaitlyn were going to spend the rest of their lives together, and she stopped him mid-kneel. That moment is hard for me to watch now, knowing that Kaitlyn's moved on, Nick's moved on, knowing that Nick ended up being the Bachelor. It's still so hard to watch, because could you just imagine like being about to, I mean, I can't, because like I'm also not going to be the one to propose to a guy, but like can you imagine that feeling of like going down and then having to stop the guy from proposing?
Crazy. That moment is so gut-wrenching. I get, like you said, it's hard to watch. It's very, very sad. I mean, regardless of if he was there for the right reasons or whatever, you can see the emotion on his face when he goes through that moment. And then that limo exit, which I have to say, we've talked about this before, everybody has their little Bachelorette or Bachelor like audition moment, and that was his. Throwing the engagement ring, throwing the ring he purchased for Kaitlyn. Then he gave that quote. He said, "I am the world's biggest joke," which is just a heartbreaking sentiment. And he just looks, I mean, look at him. He looks so devastated. He really, really went through the ringer. But as he said many times, I mean, he and Kaitlyn sat down for his podcast and they got their own closure so far after the fact. He's doing all right now. I mean, bygones be bygones, water under the bridge. Everyone's sort of where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, I mean, honestly, like it all worked out for the best. They just weren't meant to be. I will say I loved Nick Viall's post following the episode, kind of reflecting on it all. He posted a clip from it with his kind of reaction and had the caption, it was like waving at someone who's waving at the person behind, but million times worse. To be honest, I look back on this entire, sorry, to be honest, I look back on this time of my life and have nothing but positive memories. I just didn't think ABC would make us relive the entire failed proposal tomorrow night. It really was a season for the ages. You never know how you view things as time passes. Glad to be able to call KB a good friend. Sorry, so this was before the episode, but reacting to the clip. I couldn't imagine having to, because even when you move on from someone or move on from heartbreak, imagine having to watch that back on video. I think it would make us all react in an emotional way. I think it would be hard for any of us because you're watching yourself get your heart broken. And we have never had to experience that because in our day-to-day life, when we've been through breakups and heartbreaks, we're not documenting it. We're not like vlogging our heartbreak. So having it be on reality TV, and then the years pass, and you're like, okay, well, like the season's over, like bye. And then having this like greatest seasons ever and watching it back must be hard for anyone. Honestly, everyone going through this.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always, like, anytime we're talking about The Bachelor, I always think about how it must be so ridiculous for them to have to sit there and watch it all play out. And for a season that was such a long time ago, and up until, what was it, like a week ago, you couldn't go back in the Bachelor vault and just watch all of these seasons over again. So I think this was a moment that, like he wrote in that post, Nick was not actively Googling to rewatch. He was confronted with something that was far, far in the past. Let's talk about where all of them are now, where they all landed very quickly. So Shawn, he appears to be single. He's living in Nashville. He owns a gym. Seems like he's happy, doing well for himself. Nick, obviously, he went to Bachelor in Paradise. Then he became the Bachelor himself. He got engaged to Vanessa. That was called off. He now has a podcast, a very successful podcast, using all of those Bachelor insights that he has. And of course, Kaitlyn, as we saw last night, she's very happy. She's dating Jason Tartick, who was a contestant from Becca, is it Kufrin? I never say it right. Kufrin's season?
Kufrin.
Which I love and think is funny and adorable. So obviously Kaitlyn is living her best life for 1,000 reasons, but something very, very special and long awaited did happen last night.
You guys, so Kaitlyn Bristowe has apparently always wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars, but was apparently blacklisted after speaking out against The Bachelor's creator. So previously, backing it up to give you guys some insight. So previously in her podcast, she said, and I quote, "They won't let me ever be on the Dancing with the Stars. I'll tell you exactly why I can't go on Dancing with the Stars. Anybody that listens to this podcast knows why I cannot go on Dancing with the Stars. And it's because, and I will say this with a mic in my hand and a smile on my face, that Mike Fleiss is a piece of SH. He is the creator of The Bachelor and he hates women." That's a direct quote from her podcast, you guys. And so obviously hearing that, you're discouraged. You're like, well, it's not going to happen. But last night, our boy Chris Harrison surprised Kaitlyn with the news that she was going to be on Dancing with the Stars. So huge, huge announcement for her.
And it was so heartwarming to watch. I think we have a clip of that moment. So let's take a look.
Will you be on the next season of Dancing with the Stars? I'm dead serious.
So cute, right?
Oh my gosh. That's better than when, I hate to say it, but it's better when we got the reveal of like them being announced as Bachelor or Bachelorette live on FaceTime or whatever. That was like pure bliss.
I know. I mean, it's truly like, it's one of those moments where when you write something off that you're like, okay, this was a dream, this was something I wanted, but it's never going to happen, especially in the year of 2020 to get some good news like that for herself, for Bachelor Nation. It was just such a special moment. Obviously, Bachelor Nation and fans were reacting. They were so excited. Mr. Reality Steve, basically the mayor of Bachelor Nation, went ahead and hopped on Twitter. He wrote, "I'm glad that Kaitlyn Bristowe is getting her dream of being on Dancing with the Stars. Should have happened earlier, but at least it's happening. Very cool. Congrats." And then a couple of other fans hopped on Twitter as well. Kaitlyn Bristowe, on Dancing. Finally, let's go. Hashtag the Bachelor Goat. And another fan wrote, "Kaitlyn Bristowe is going to be on Dancing ABC. I'm so excited. I know who I'll be voting for." So she has been getting a ton of support since the announcement. And honestly, I'm thrilled for her. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to vote. And I hope to see her go far. She's got to keep up Hannah Brown's winning streak. I mean, come on.
I know. It's going to be hard to follow up Hannah Brown because she absolutely killed it on Dancing with the Stars, as we all know. She was even going to go on tour with them after. So I'm so excited, though, because to be completely real with you guys, Kaitlyn is one of my all-time favorite Bachelorettes who to be honest, I have not seen her full season, but it's from her personality, her podcast I've listened to. Before watching her and Shawn together, I really love their relationship. I also love her and Jason's relationship, of course, but she just seems like a super real person that's funny, silly, and I've always just really enjoyed watching her do whatever she's doing. So I'm excited to watch her on Dancing with the Stars. I love to have a star to keep up with whenever it's a new Dancing with the Stars season. But let's get to some. It's not drama. You guys, I was going to say some drama. It's not drama. For me, I was like, ooh, what's this? So Chris Harrison chatted with Hannah Ann and Maddie together. I initially found this out because I saw a TikTok joking about this interview, which I'll get to. But so in the interview, Chris was asking, by the way, this was both like via, Zoom call. Chris asked them both about their failed relationships with Peter. Hannah Ann said, "I stand by everything that I said. That was my piece. And walking off that stage, I never looked back. And I'm not going to let an unfortunate situation knock me down," which preach, Hannah Ann. I loved that quote. She's just great. Maddie, on the other hand, we all know that she was a bit upset about the Kelly Peter situation. We know the drama that was surrounding that. She talked about Peter's relationship with Kelly and said, quote, "Kelly and I were really close on the show, and obviously I loved Peter, and I'm happy he's found a person that he feels he can be the best version of himself with, and his family loves and supports. I truly am so happy for them." So they both seem super moved on. It's crazy because with like this, these love triangles that we've gotten post Peter season, it kind of felt like at one point it was never going to end. Like someone else's feelings were always going to get hurt. Someone else was going to go through a breakup, and then Peter was, it just felt never ending. So seeing that it has ended and Kelly's, as of right now, kind of the end all be all, I like seeing that everyone's doing well. Maddie also addressed the whole Barb situation. You guys remember what happened with that. And she said, quote, "As far as with Barb, there are absolutely no hard feelings there. She's a great mom, and she was just doing her job as a mom to protect her son in the way that she felt she needed to. I wish them all the best." Chris pressed her, and she did add that she was very upset after AFR, but is in a good place now. So good to know she's healed from the Barb thing. By the way, did you see the TikTok where people put Hannah Ann and Maddie side by side as Maddie's talking about Barb, and Hannah Ann's just saying like it looks like she wants to say something. And I wonder, because people are saying that Barb doesn't follow Hannah Ann anymore, and I'm guessing it's because she called out her son, even though Barb definitely clapped for Hannah Ann while on AFR. But I wonder if there's any more drama going on with that. But to finish it off, Chris did ask both women if they would get back together with Peter, and Hannah Ann laughed it off and said that we all know that answer, which is obviously that they're going to end up getting married. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, Kelly was not a fan of that line of questioning. And I have to say, I don't know about you guys. If you haven't already, please send some questions and some comments in the chat because we're going to get to those shortly. I don't know about you guys, but I also wasn't thrilled with that question. I'm sure his intent was lighthearted and whatever, but we have just been through so many rounds of this group of people, like you said, Renee, getting their feelings hurt, being upset. We do not need to pursue that version of the narrative any further. Kelly agrees with me, and she took to her Insta stories to react. She wrote, "Why are these disrespectful questions still being asked? The past is the past. Let's let everyone move on in peace." I mean, I'm assuming you agree with me, Renee, after talking about this at length. I just feel like let's all move on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, listen, like I've shaded Peter my fair share on this channel, as you all know, but I think he found his person. I think Kelly and him are a good fit. I told you what it meant to me seeing them quarantine together as long as they did. Like, it's hard spending that much time with anyone, let alone a new relationship. Seeing how they've been since. They're now traveling together. They just seem like they're really happy and things are very easy between them. And sure, Peter made the wrong decision. He made mistakes. He mishandled situations. I don't think Hannah Ann owes him anything. I don't think Madison owes him anything. But at the end of the day, like, you got to kind of forgive and move forward and just do your own thing. You don't need to have the other people in your life. But at this point, like, Peter's made his decision. We don't need to keep being reminded of like the mistakes he's made. It's been a few months now. He's set in his decision and they're together. Like, they're exclusive. It's not getting back with anyone because he's in a relationship.
Totally. And the other thing is, like, Maddie and Hannah Ann have gone on to bring more to this world than just their failed relationships with Peter. Even if it's just silly stuff on TikTok. Hannah Ann sharing recipes on Instagram. Like, they're clearly trying to show people, like, we've moved on. We have other things to talk about. We have other things to do. And I think that they should be allowed that. Everyone else in Bachelor Nation that sort of like ends a season, not as the winner, but stays in the spotlight, like, they're given their space. They're given distance from the season. And I think that they should be too. We want to know what you guys are thinking though. So let's take a look at what's going on over in the chat.
Yes. Get your questions ready, you guys. We'd love to hear. Are you excited that Kaitlyn's going to be on Dancing with the Stars? How are you enjoying the, Bachelor's Greatest Seasons Ever? It's a long title, you guys. It's hard to keep up. Oh, here we go. JJ said, I like starting with 2 Bachelorettes. Starting with 2 Bachelors would be great too. I like where your head's at, JJ. I feel the same way. Yeah, I would love to see that happen. Oh, we have RJ saying it was a really good season. Yeah, Kate, I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to have to binge all of these on HBO Max.
Totally.
For sure.
I mean, Kaitlyn has such a good reputation. Let's see. Adriana wrote, I'm kind of glad it's happening now because I am more a fan of hers than I was when she was the Bachelorette. I'm more inclined to watch now. I'm assuming she's talking about her going on Dancing with the Stars. That's a really good point of view. I mean, Kaitlyn has really made a name for herself separate from her season. So who knows why people will be tuning in? Maybe they're just a fan of her podcast. I mean, truly, it is a good time.
Because, yeah, even just me, I was saying I didn't watch her on The Bachelorette, and then I love her now because of all that she's done afterwards.
Exactly.
Oh, J Jobs also asked, will they have to wear masks on Dancing with the Stars? I don't know. Honestly, you guys, I think everyone in production is just kind of figuring it out. I think that we're taking everything day by day. Dancing with the Stars is extra tricky because it's one of those shows with a live audience. So I'm sure they won't have a live audience, but if they all quarantine together, I wonder if they'll just get tested every week and not do the masks because they know they'll all be clear. I don't know. That's a good question though.
I know I think a lot of it will have to do with like A, the state guidelines, B, how testing is going at that time, and C, just like when they even decide to go into production, you know, like who knows? It'll be interesting. Claire wrote, I couldn't believe she waited that long to stop him from proposing. That is an interesting point. I have to say, rewatching that back, you can see the wheels, like, you know, she knows what's coming. And I wonder if it was just like giving it time to breathe. I mean, yeah, let's take a look right now.
No? All right.
So tough. Oh, look.
Ugh.
Tough.
Yes, that's
to
my face
watch.
too.
Tough to
Okay,
watch.
you guys, we can do one more question. So let's see what we got. Here we go. Any news on Claire's season? I believe they're filming in the fall, no? I think they have the dates, or that's what I gathered from they said they're filming in the fall.
Yes, I believe you're correct. They're filming in the fall. I don't know exact dates off the top of my head. There were some rumors floating around that Claire's season was like canceled or squashed or whatever, and Chris Harrison hopped in, shut those down. Claire's season is still a top priority. They've made that very clear. We know they're going to air Claire before they air Matt. It's not like he was announced and then Claire's season was put on hold. She's still going to have her time in the spotlight. And I know they've talked about many times that her season is going to reflect like what's going on in the world, COVID and otherwise. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great.
Me too. You guys, I know you are just as excited as we are to tune in to another season of The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. In the meantime, though, you guys can keep up with us here at Shared News. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And while you're at it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you didn't join us live, still make sure to leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts, answer some questions, so make sure to do that. And if you guys want to keep up with me, you can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And Fiona, where can they check you out?
All of those same places at Fiona Zaring.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you back here